Good morning, sir. I would like to introduce myself to you. This is Sai Pravalika from CSCF section from Computer Science and Engineering Department. My CA2 topic is about resettlement and rehabilitation. Resettlement and rehabilitation R&R refers to the process of relocating and supporting people who are displaced due to development projects such as dams, industries, highways, mining, or natural disasters. It aims to restore or improve the living standards of the affected population. Mining's impact on Jharkhand's tribal communities. Case study analyzing the causes and consequences of displacement due to large scale mining activities in Jharkhand, focusing on the indigenous tribal population. Forced displacement the involuntary physical and economic relocation of people from their ancestral lands and livelihoods due to development projects. The mandate for justice. R&R is not just about compensation, it's about securing future well being and ensuring justice for affected communities, especially vulnerable groups like Adivasis, tribals. Mining hub and tribal homeland. Jharkhand is endowed with vast mineral resources including coal, iron ore and mica, making it a critical stage for India's mining sector. Over 26% of Jharkhand's population belongs to tribal communities, Adivasis, who have deep socio-cultural and spiritual ties to the land and forests that often overlay mineral deposits. This geographical overlap creates an inherent conflict between industrial development goals and the rights and traditions of the indigenous inhabitants, leading to extensive displacement. Land acquisition, how it is impacts tribal communities' rights and livelihoods. Erosion of land rights. Tribal communities often lack formal land titles, making them particularly vulnerable during acquisition despite existing laws like PESA Act and FRA, Forest Rights Act. Loss of livelihood base. The land is not merely an asset, it is the sole source of agriculture, forest produce, and traditional crafts which are lost permanently post acquisition. Socio-economic disruptions, loss of land, cultural and identity, economic destruction. Cash compensation is often quickly depleted and affected families struggle to transition to new, sustainable sources of income, frequently falling into poverty. Breakdown of social structure. Traditional community bonds, kinship ties, and collective resource management systems are shattered when villages are fragmented and relocated. Adaptation strategies. How communities cope and resist. Organizing local movements and leveraging constitutional safeguards. Examples scheduled areas provisions to challenge unfair acquisition. Strengthening community networks. Reliance on traditional support systems and collective decision making to manage compensation and relocation. Skill diversification, attempting to acquire non traditional skills to participate in the formal economy, often in low wage sectors. Government policies and implementation, gaps and challenges in R&R. Policy intent, fair compensation, inadequate payouts. Implementation on reality, timely resettlement, delay and backlogs. Success stories and best practices. Learning from resilient communities. Land for land principle. Prioritizing arable land allocation over cash compensation, especially for communities dependent on agriculture. Livelihood restoration focus. Providing long term occasional training linked to real employment opportunities, not just one time payments. Conclusion and recommendations towards a just and equitable R&R. Strengthen legal enforcement, ensure strict adherence to FRA and PESA provisions, making FPIC mandatory and non-negotiable for tribal land acquisition. Integrate development planning. R&R must be treated as an integral component of the project budget and timeline, not an afterthought or marginal expense. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are called SDGs. From my topic, I got SDG 1, that is no poverty. This helps the people who are in poverty, which are caused due to natural disasters or any development issues. Thank you.